Come out in front. Don't go behind. Don't go right behind those people with the big giant sign. Everybody out in front, please. Can we get everybody out in front, please? Please out in front of me. All right, thank you all. Guys, I just want to say how incredible this is today. And this is the third march we have had in West Palm Beach. And every time we do it, it makes a huge statement. Every time we do it, people are like, what is a GMO? And the more times we do it, the less we get, what is a GMO? The more times we do it, the more times these folks realize that these GMOs are really bad for us. And I want to welcome you guys here. We've got the mayor of our city, who's going to say a few words to you. Please welcome Mayor Jerry Moyle.
Oh, I'm so impressed with the size of this group. I had no idea there would be so many people. Congratulations, Tom. Good job. Good job. So when I was trying to decide what I was going to say today, I did a little research on the internet, and I found a YouTube video of a 14-year-old girl who was being grilled by two reporters on a news program, two adult reporters. She was very passionate about not wanting GMOs in her food, and very passionate about making sure that they are labeled appropriately so that we know. And these two adults kept trying to trip her up and actually called her a shill for the environmentalist. But she got the best of them, let me tell you. If you get a minute to see that video, I want you to take a look at it. And basically she said, first of all, there's no research that shows that GMOs increase the yield of corn crops. There's no research that even talks about what might be the negative effects of GMOs. Monsanto is only required to do a 9-day study, and nobody else has done any other studies. And basically what she was saying is, okay, if we need to be using these, and she doesn't believe we do, we've got to label them. We've got to give people a choice as to what to purchase. And to, with their pocketbook, make a choice. You know, we have no idea if, in fact, these genetically altered seeds make a difference in third world countries. We don't know that that actually happens. And we don't know if it makes a positive difference or if it makes a negative difference. So here we are putting this stuff in our food without any big research and certainly without labeling. So continue your fight, particularly fight for giving us a choice as to whether or not to consume these products by putting them on the labels of our foods. So thank you for being here and thank you for coming to West Palm Beach and being a part of this great movement. Thank you.
Comes out. We're going to have the Raging Grannies come forward. All right. Raging Grannies come forward and sing for us. Where are you, Raging Grannies? Hold the microphone. Okay. All right, so let's hear the Raging Grannies.
Radical environmentalists.
How many of you know what HB1 is? Raise your hand. HB1. HB1 is House Bill 1. And guess what House Bill 1 is? Label GMOs. Now we are the first bill in the House this year. We need every single one of you to make some noise to your state representatives, to your state senators, and let them know how valuable this bill is to you. I'm going to let Drew Martin, our Soil Water Conservation District elected official, Vice Chair, speak to you a little bit on GMOs.
I'm going to speak really quickly because we have Commissioner Pollack-Burdick. So as she comes forward, one thing we're trying to do is keep GMOs out of Florida. And why do we want to do that? Because when people find out what are in GMOs, they're going to want alternatives. So we don't want all our seeds corrupted by GMOs. And what's the problem right now? Once Monsanto gets GMOs out there, if any farmer accidentally plants GMOs or accidentally gets GMOs in their crops, Monsanto sues them and puts them out of business. So that's hurting farming. We don't want that in Florida. We want Florida to be GMO-free. We also want all our GMO-free for Florida. We also want all our products labeled, which isn't going to cost anything. We already have product labeling. So you can decide when you go to the grocery store whether what you're buying has GMO in it or not. We want GMO labeling. Now I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Burdick, and she's going to talk about why we don't want GMOs.
Thank you very much, Drew. I am County Commissioner Pollack-Burdick, and prior to being a county commissioner, am I holding this at the right angle? Can you hear me in the back? Thank you. I was on the school board of Palm Beach County for 16 glorious years, educating boys and girls so that they could be productive citizens. And talking about wellness and changing the culture
and looking at how we can use community gardens and organic gardens at our schools and in our communities. Because for many years, what they're talking about now, we've known about the problems with pesticides and insecticides on fruits and vegetables for many years. What this House bill is asking is for public transparency, to allow the public to make the choice on what they want to have in their foods. That's all the public is asking for. In preparation for today, I started to continue to do a little bit of homework on GMOs. And it doesn't matter, you know, if you believe the science or if you don't believe the science. House Bill 1 clearly gives everybody the choice to choose which science they believe in and how they're going to choose to feed their children. Thank you all very much for being out here today.
Thank you, Commissioner Burdick. All right, so how many of you guys know what House Bill 1 is? How many of you are going to call your state representative, your state senator when you get home? All right, yeah. This is going to take place at the next legislative session, which will be, I guess, next March. So it's important that we start working on it now, right? Start talking to our state representatives now. Send them emails. Call them on the phone. Send them faxes. What we're going to do now is we're going to continue to march. And we're going to march up the street here, and then we're going to go down through City Place. It's really fun to go down through City Place. But I want to remind you guys to stay on the sidewalk because we have had great support from the mayor and the city and everything else. And we want to maintain and keep that support. So then we're going to go down Okeechobee, and then we're going to go Flagler back to the waterfront where we're going to have the future presidents. I guess we... Yes. Why don't we go ahead and read that now? Hillary, can you get up here? All right, you can stand down there.
This is... Our march today is focusing on marching against Monsanto. And in addition to the GMOs, Monsanto has a really awful history of a lot of things that have been very destructive, one of which is Agent Orange. And I've been asked to read a letter from an organization that is children of soldiers who were affected by Agent Orange. Today we are reading this statement on behalf of Children of Vietnam Veterans Health Alliance, an organization founded to help Agent Orange survivors in their fight for justice against Monsanto for crimes against humanity. Monsanto and 6 other chemical companies have gotten away with murder for the last 50 years. The weapons used most predominantly during the Vietnam War was Agent Orange, second only to radioactive waste. During the Vietnam War era, Monsanto produced Agent Orange at 1,000 times greater the potency versus the other 6 companies. Hundreds of thousands globally have died, including members of the Children of Vietnam Veterans Health Alliance, and will continue to die drastically before the average human lifespan. Others have reported up to 800 illnesses in our database at www.covvha.net. Today, half of Agent Orange's chemical compound, 2,4-D, and other pesticides like Roundup are the chemicals being sprayed on GMO, genetically modified organism crops, resulting in triple the danger of food that is not organic. Imagine what happens to a body already exposed to Agent Orange that consumes these GMO pesticides and foods. In a nutshell, Agent Orange was, in essence, the chicken before the GMO egg. As I said before, for the last 50 years, Monsanto has gotten away with this crime. If there is no unity between organizations fighting for Agent Orange justice and those fighting for the labeling and banning of GMOs, how many more years do you think it will take before you see a change? The answer simply can be only one: too many. On a daily basis, we receive emails from children of Vietnam veterans, the wives and widows of Vietnam veterans, and the veterans themselves. Here are a few clips of those emails. My father is receiving VA benefits for neuropathy and some other issues that I am not sure of. He served in Vietnam and has told stories of how the water barrel they used for their shower was an Agent Orange drum.
Wow.
Another one. My father was exposed to Agent Orange, died of lymphatic leukemia, and I have cancer tumors, which are rare malignancy types that led to hysterectomy, thyroidectomy, and mastectomy. Doctors think there is a connection. Another. I have several of the issues listed on your site, and I have severe memory retention difficulties, weak joints, deteriorating and weakened spinal discs, and random severe skin irritations. Like a section of my skin is on fire, which lasts for several hours or days at a time. My son has showed some of the symptoms listed and has memory problems, not to mention no sense of smell. There are 30-some emails that they sent. I'm not going to read them all. I think you get the point. This is not only the soldiers who were exposed directly, but we're talking 2 and 3 generations down of birth defects and illnesses. Sorry. This is a call for all to educate themselves and others, and those that fight against us to unite. My only question left to ask now is, are you in or out? This is from Kelly L. Derricks, co-founder and president of the COVVHA, Children of Vietnam Veterans Health Alliance, Inc. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to wrap up with one final speaker before we march through City Place. And let me tell you, how many of you guys have marched through City Place before? It's a lot of fun. I'm going to introduce to you a good friend she runs a website called Annie Appleseed Project. She's very involved in alternative and complementary health, and especially as it relates to cancer patients. She's been a very valuable source of support for many people in the community. And the way this relates is the fact that these GMOs really do affect our health, and they affect our bodies. And Anne has done a lot of in-depth reading of the research on this, so I'm going to let her share some of that with you. This is Anne Fompa, the project leader of Annie Appleseed Project, and she'll tell you the website.
I want to help give you some information to help counteract the crap that they put out in press releases. So when they say that there are studies, there are no long-term studies. The studies are basically 2 weeks with mice. 2 weeks isn't going to kill anything. If you go to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they're dying. And they're dying because of the genetically modified foods that they're being fed. So they cut studies really short. And the FDA fails us completely, as somebody's sign said, fails completely to ask for studies that are long enough to make a difference. Plus, it's my contention that you can't just look at genetically modified fake foods on their own. You have to look at them in connection with all of the other chemical and pesticide exposures that we suffer. And all of them together are a great disaster. There's no way that we can yield on the idea of knowing what's in our food. We have to have real food. I represent millions of people with cancer. My organization's been online since 1999. We've got a lot of information about this kind of stuff. We know for an absolute fact that the studies have been done incorrectly, inappropriately, and way too short. Anytime they do a longer-term study, the mice die. So it's complete crap, and they're lying to us when they say there's anything at all good about it. There isn't. Our organization is AnnieAppleseedProject.org. We can be found on Facebook or on our website. Thank you.
Woo! All right. Now, one person asked me, on this House Bill 1 thing, who is supporting us? Everybody. And everybody, but we have, right locally, we have two very valuable politicians. One is Senator Sachs. She sponsored this bill for a second time this year. The other is Representative Mark Pafford, who is a co-sponsor of the bill this year and was the primary sponsor last year. And Hillary, who is the primary sponsor this year?
Primary sponsor, Michelle Raywinkle Basalinda, I believe.
Michelle Raywinkle Basalinda.
Raywinkle Basalinda.
Raywinkle Basalinda. All right. So with that, we're going to march through City Place. I want you guys to be, you know how we were in a line before? I want you guys to walk right behind my two big sign guys here. I'm going to be out in front. I want you guys to go nice and slow. It's important that we have a nice long line because that's a longer presence that we have as opposed to a really groupy line that's all bunched up in the street. So let's go.